Hello everybody, welcome back to the Stikbot channel, and ignore the set. I'm currently between sets right now. But in honor of Breaking Bad recently turning 15 years old, that is as old as me, that is crazy, I'll be showing you guys my custom Stikbot of Gustavo Fring. Now, Gustavo Fring is by far my favorite character in Breaking Bad, which is definitely a hard decision to make because there's so many good and well-written characters in that show, but this is my favorite. And he's definitely a very high point in Better Call Saul, though not my favorite character. He's probably my second favorite. For anyone wondering, my favorite character is Mike in Better Call Saul. Anyway, here we have the one and only Gustavo Fring, played by the excellent Giancarlo Esposito in his Los Pollos Hermanos outfit. This is him whenever he's in Los Pollos Hermanos, and he has this sort of facade on that he's not a crazy drug empire guy, and he's just the chicken man. He's the guy who likes to sell you some delicious, amazing chicken. That is his whole personality. You know, he has this fake smile. You don't really see the real Gustavo when you meet him in his restaurant. So that's what I want to portray here. And this is also his first appearance outfit. Starting at the head, we have a custom painted face. This is something you really don't see on Stikbot Customs, is a customized face or one that goes for this style. I wanted to attempt to mimic Giancarlo Esposito's face and his expression, his like soft, comforting like face. You know, you walk in Los Pollos Hermanos, you see this man, you're gonna want to buy some chicken. You're gonna want to shake his hand. You know, it's a very fake sort of ideal, and this is him. I think I got this portrayed decently well. I think it could look a little better, but some things. I got the cheekbones here. Some good old forehead wrinkles, his glasses, sort of his eyes, sort of closed-ish, not that open, and a little smile, and the, I don't know what these are called, but it's like your mouth has these like lines right there. Should be an image up on screen of what I kind of use as reference. Yeah, and overall, I'd say it looks pretty good, could definitely look better. This is my first attempt at this sort of realistic-ish sort of face. And for my first attempt, it turned out pretty well, and I'm actually really excited to use this sort of format more to add more detail to my customs with more Breaking Bad and any other sort of form of custom of like real life characters to try and mimic the face, the actor portraying the character. Then for the hair, his cut, it's very drippy. It's a very drippy cut. It's very short, so I didn't feel the need to give him any sort of 3D hair. It's just a black, sort of square-ish thing painted on his head with some gray dry brushing, followed by a black dry brushing, and so some gray touch-ups, I think. I think that's how I did it. This is a while ago. I mean, this is a while ago, so I'm sort of recalling my memory. Yeah, that was actually pretty easy, but trying to get this lined up was like the slightest bit difficult. I did want to do 3D glasses, but that just didn't work out because of how small the scale is. Using some sort of wire and trying to paint it and glue it was a hassle, so I didn't even bother and just painted them on. I just used a toothpick, like I normally do with this sort of thing, and yeah, it does kind of break the closer you get. If you try and like focus in on the face, you kind of see the imperfections, but you know, it's whatever. Still, I'm really proud of it, and yeah, like I said, I can't wait to improve upon that formula I kind of started. Then moving down to the torso, we have very simple torso. Just a simple yellow dress shirt with a yellow collar here, so you can see pocket cuffs that go all the way around his arms. No detail on the back. I thought about doing some lines and stuff. I have an image up on screen of a test I kind of drew of like adding folds and lines, and I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me, so I wanted to go with a more simplistic look. You gotta add some detail somewhere, so I have outlines for where his like cuffs are, and his collar and his pocket, done in a different shade of yellow to try and be less like drastic and in your face, as if they were done in like black or something, to show that it's just like details in the shirt. Then here we have his tie, which is 3D. You can take it off, as you can see here. I did kind of mess up with the paper. It's really noticeable, as you can see the little tufts of, dang, this camera's actually pretty decent. You can see here little tufts of paper right there. And that does kind of look bad, but it's not that noticeable, I guess. And I didn't actually paint the underneath. Forgot about that. But I did try to paint on the tie, but it just wasn't working, so I went with a 3D tie, which definitely took some time. He's a very, very long tie. It goes down to, like, his stomach in the show. So, this is definitely a good choice to make. And you can definitely see some, like, almost ripples. I don't know, I think these might have been bubbles or, like, dust or something that got under the paint when I was painting. Because there are a lot, and I mean a lot of layers of paint on the torso here. Because every time I'd have to try and paint a new tie, I'd have to paint everywhere around it so it didn't get uneven, and that got messed up a couple times. But it's kind of whatever. Moving down to the legs, specifically the hip piece here. Nothing crazy, just a simple belt. Of course, his pants are in tan. The belt goes all the way around, you know, belt loops in the pants. It's really weird working on such a small scale. This is like my first time really doing that, but I think it worked out. Definitely from a distance, especially, it doesn't look that bad. Yeah, it's very, very simple. It's really not that detailed of a character in terms of design, because it's just like a real person. But for what it's worth, at least I got the details down. And then the legs are literally just tan until you move down to the shoes. This is another first for customs, is the 3D shoes. Shoes tend to look kind of uneven when I do them, and I don't know, there's something about these. You can argue that Stikbots don't need shoes, and I agree with that argument to an extent, but I wanted to add his very drippy shoes. These are paper, cut out, can't remember what the length is, and wrapped around and glued on the legs. And it has a very nice subtle 3D effect to it that I think just looks really clean, and it's not too noticeable, but noticeable enough to where it looks decent in my opinion. And then underneath that are the soles, which were extremely hard because it's very easy to mess up. They could either be way too big and look kind of wonky, or they could be way too small and then essentially be a waste of your time. And I feel like I got right in the middle ground there. These were quite difficult to pull off here. Focus. Yeah, you see sort of like there where I had to like paint over some bleeding. It took a few tries, gonna be honest, but I think it was definitely worth it. And underneath they're just black, and I think it looks good. Now, how I did this custom, not that it really matters. I did a gloss yellow base coat for the torso. I did like sort of like a peach-ish tan. Actually, I can get the colors. These colors right here are what I use for the base coats. You can probably guess where they went. And then I went over that with normal-ish colors. I went with a really light, almost faded yellow for the shirt, because it's a very light yellow shirt. And then for the pants, I went with just a normal khaki, which, you know, it worked. It worked very, very well in my opinion. And with the amount of layers I kind of put for the legs, because I was using a matte paint for the base coat for some reason. Glad I figured that out. It actually worked in my favor because it's weirdly durable. Like, I've animated with him and his legs are fine. Same goes for the arms. Yeah, it's really durable. And it almost gives like a pants-ish fabric-y sort of effect, which I really like. It feels nice too. I know none of you are ever gonna know what that's like because I'm the only one who has this, but sucks to be you. I'm joking, I love you. Anyway, so yeah, that's about it. I decided to do this on a blue Stikbot. I don't know what it is, but I've always subconsciously had a thing with making black characters on blue Stikbots. I feel like it just works. I'm drifting away from that. I'm not trying to sound racist or anything. I just think it works, and it worked here. Definitely using like a darker blue on the face to make the wrinkles compared to like a real person, I think was a good decision. And I've already used this in an animation. Definitely go watch it. It was very, very, very funny.
You unzip, you go to the urinal, and you touch yourself.
But that was my first time really using one of my modern customs in an animation too, and it worked out really, really well. So yeah, this guy's a really good base for a lot of customs that I make now. Or for him, I wouldn't quite know some of my techniques that I do, and this took me a while. So there's a little bit of a story behind this. There was a contest thing was doing a while ago. It was a custom contest. I think you just had to make a custom of anything you wanted and try to be the best. And I entered, and it was like this thing. Oh yeah, because whoever won was going to be on Stikbot Central, and it was like a meme. We wanted Gus Fring to be on Stikbot Central. So I remember like a bunch of people specifically didn't enter, so I had a way better chance of winning. And then I never made the custom. Like, this is a thing. Clay literally made a meme. I remember that of this.
Wake the up.
Breaking Bad Gus Stikbot custom.
We have a
Stikbot contest.
to burn.
And I had absolutely zero motivation, zero follow through to finish the custom. Because it was just kind of boring in a sense, because it was really just yellow, tan, brown, and then I just didn't work on it for a long time. It was really demotivating, and then I never entered it. I feel kind of bad about that. And then randomly one night, I think it was before a trip I was about to go on. I remember so vividly, I was pulling an all-nighter, working on it. That's what really happens. I started custom, probably never finished it, and then one day I randomly get the motivation to just work on it, and I work on it through the night, through the morning. And then finish it, and post pictures of it or whatever. And that happened with him too. I was watching Attack on Titan. I was chilling. I was painting. It was a good day, and it was in the summer too. So it was a good night. And then I went on my trip, and it was yeah, very cool. So overall, definitely one of my more favorite customs. I really like him. And yeah, happy 15th birthday, Breaking Bad. I know I'm a few days late, but this show is truly beautiful, and I love it. And you better watch it. I'm telling you, you better watch it. I know where you live. I'll be visiting you. We'll be watching it together. If you don't watch it on your own, trust me, you do not want to watch it with me. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in joining my Discord server or following any of my socials, those links are of course in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Keep on honking my goosename sandwiches, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out. Last chance to look at me, Hector. Ding 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 ding. Oh! Ooh, I might regret that later.